Today we're going to be checking out the new EQ from Pepers Pedals, the Far Q. I feel like the name of this pedal is going to get the channel demonetized. It's okay. It's not what you think it is. It's based on Farquaad. So what is this EQ? Well, it is an EQ that is based off of a couple of old Boss EQs, some parametric EQs they put out, the PQ4 and the PQ3B. How is it based on both, you ask? Well, you have the high, low, and mid controls where you can, boost or cut them, but that you can also sweep across a wide range across, the low frequencies, the mid frequencies, the high frequencies. But what you can also do is there's a little button for each of those, and it changes the range that it affects. So you can either have it of the range of the PQ4 or the PQ3B, which I think is pretty cool. And of course you can mix and match, so it's not like you just have one or the other. Now, beyond it being just a parametric EQ, inside it does have a boost you can control. It's a MOSFET boost. You can turn up or down or turn it off and on from in there. That would be great if you were using this thing, say, more as a boost, or if like you're doing some leads and wanted to change the tone of the amplifier with some leads, and then also wanted a volume boost on the leads, so you were kind of kicking up the volume with that and wanted a bit of a boost with it. Not really anything I'm going to look into here, because what I'm more interested in is, instead of using this as a boost or boosting it for lead work, just how useful an EQ can be in sculpting and kind of refining your sound. So I actually ended up matching as pretty close as I could the volume with this on to the volume of the amplifier with it off, just because I really wanted to show, what it was doing, not so much, hey, it can boost stuff. Another cool feature that this thing has is it does have a high and low pass filter, which is going to be invaluable too if you want to get rid of those super kind of fizzy top end frequencies or those really woofy low end frequencies that are just going to interfere with the bass and kick drum. So the high pass filter will either allow you to boost or cut at 8,000 hertz, and the low pass filter will allow you to either boost or cut at 100 hertz. So super valuable, something super, super good to have on an equalizer, especially for like high gain guitars. You can definitely get fizzy and woofy. As many of you are probably aware, an EQ is invaluable. Post EQ on a guitar, that's going to be how a guitar mix sits well with the other instruments. But of course, a mix isn't just for recordings, it's also for live, or if you're just wanting to play and your amp's got some kind of things that you need to fix or, work with. So essentially what I'm going to do is we're going to plug into my PV6505 1992 original, so the kind of block letter sound, because that's a really classic high gain metal sound. And we're going to have this in the loop. And you're going to hear a bit in mix and out of mix of just the guitar straight into the amplifier, and then also with this in the loop engaged. And we're going to hear it inside and outside of a mix with it off and on, just so you can kind of hear the difference. So I'm not going to be doing anything like massively wildly changing the tone. I'm just going to be kind of refining it. I'm going to take off a little bit of low end to tighten it up a bit. I'm going to take out kind of some of that woody, muddy, murky sounding low mid-range. We're going to be boosting the mid-range a bit for that kind of cut and pick attack. And I'm going to be taking out kind of like an annoying high-end frequency as well. So while it won't be like, massively different, I'm not going to be boosting and cutting stuff dramatically for the in-mix. You should be able to hear a difference. I'll drop out all the other instruments at one point too, so you can really hear the difference. Then in the out of mix, I'm just going to kind of mess with stuff. So you'll hear how dramatic you can mess with stuff, as well as what I'm really listening for, what I'm kind of adjusting while I'm messing with it to try and get a bit of a different sound. And you might like it just guitar straight into amplifier. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not saying like this is necessarily better or correct, just that you can really refine it so it sits with other instruments better, both in a band context, just playing at home by yourself. If you have an amp that's really not sitting well with you in some places, you might want to try an EQ. And then of course, EQ for recording is, invaluable in post. So that's enough talking about all of its features. Let's actually hear this inside and outside of a mix. I'm going to be plugging into this with my Fuji Gen Neoclassic, which has a set of Bill Kelleher Mojotone Hellbender pickups in it. And that's going to be going direct into the amp. And then we have the FAR Q in the loop. And then you're going to be hearing all of that go into my Two Notes Captor X with a DV77 and VM12 IR speaker blend. And we'll hear it all in that same setup for the out of mix. Let's just check it out. So that should definitely show you why something like an EQ is valuable, and maybe something that you should reach for if you're having a hard time with your amp. If you're considering just buying a whole nother amp or selling this or trying a bunch of different stuff, maybe it's that you don't need that. Maybe you just need to work on either boosting or cutting a couple of key frequencies, and that'll really help it sit better with you. But I hope this was kind of informative for some people. I hope that you could have seen how just invaluable EQ is and how powerful it can be, especially with distorted guitars. I'm gonna have a link down below if you want to check out this or anything else from Pepers pedals, because they're awesome. They were so cool to send this one over for me. Really do appreciate that. But I'd love to know your thoughts. Put them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Stay metal.